Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to go over pros and cons of the Rps Loco 20 behind me. This is my personal machine. CRD is not paying me to make this video. I'm going to show you guys what I think of the machine, some tips, tricks when you go and buy the machine, things you want to look for, things you want to want to have, adjustments when you buy it. It's going to be a complete review, so stay tuned. Got a lot in store. First we're going to go over the engine. This is a Deutz diesel from Germany, turbocharged, air-cooled. My thoughts about the engine: powerful, starts up all the time, even in the winter. Couple things that I think you should look out for: it does burn a little oil on break-in period. I've changed the oil twice, once at 35 hours, once at 200 hours. That's what the machine has on it right now. In between the oil change at 35 hours, it burned almost all the oil in the machine. So I filled it back up again, changed the filters. You can see it too well. But I've had this wiring harness come out a little bit, and the machine wouldn't start. So my first impressions were that it was a fuel issue. So I primed it, did that whole setup, still didn't start. Had a mechanic come out. All I had to do was plug that wire in. So if you guys are ever having this starting issue, that's probably your problem. Wet down here. The surface gets a little wet and oily, and just makes it a little bit easier to stand on it. To me, I just feel a little bit more comfortable. $100, man, they were a pain to change. I don't know if you guys know, comment below of a better way to change these pumps without losing all the fluid that's in the tank. Maybe there's a vacuum way you can put it on here, but that was definitely a bear to change those pumps, to change the filters right here. They have to be done every 200 hours. Definitely looking for your guys' suggestions on how I could make that a little easier. Right here, and I welded in this piece to prevent the wires getting ripped out, as there's nothing worse than you're on a job, the wires are ripped out of the machine, and now you're down. So this is definitely an add-on that I would recommend that you guys get. You can't purchase it through CRD, but just have a local welder fab one up. Really simple, 1/4-inch plate, tack it together, save yourself any future potential problems. Do you see the hydraulic fitting right there? We actually pushed the cylinder a little too hard 1 or 2 times and blew the O-ring out of it. Right in there. Wasn't too bad of a fix, but don't push it too hard. Now, one of the problems that I've had with this machine is this belt here behind me. The factory belt, at probably around 100 hours, it just started to rip, tear. I actually ended up ripping half the belt in half. She actually ended up ripping the belt in half, and having to replace the belt at about $100, which kind of sucked because it was a brand new machine. So this belt that I got here, this is the upgraded belt with the cleats in here. But what would you know that these cleats don't fit in this hole. These are 1-inch cleats. 1 inch open. So not only did I have to buy a new belt, I think I paid like $600 for this, for their premium belt, but I had to cut all of these cleats in half so that it would fit through the opening. I guess it was that was a little frustrating for me, but since I put this new belt on, I haven't had any issues, which has been awesome. Now inside the splitting chamber behind me, CRD has what they call their RPS system. It's the rapid positioning system. It's really handy when you got a log that's a little crooked, doesn't go into the splitting chamber properly. I have had one issue with it, which I will explain over here. Definitely pay that $2,000 more and get the 12-way wedge. Really makes the products a lot smaller. It's worth the buddy. Buy it. I would recommend, for changing these teeth over here, buy yourself an air chisel. It would be so much easier with an air chisel than the tool that they give you. You just hammer the rivet out, punch the tooth out, the shank out, put a new shank in, put a new tooth in. Oh, rivet in, sorry. Getting the rivet out is easy. Getting the shank out is the hard part. Now this machine doesn't come with a toolbox. Don't know why. Where are you going to put all your tools? So one simple thing I did, found a toolbox on Craigslist, bolted it to the frame. Now I have all my tools in here. It's great. I can go to a mobile job, which we do a lot of, and I have all the gear that I need to run this machine. Easy access, towable, lockable. CRD, if you're watching this, add a toolbox to your machine. Now the fuel consumption in the machine, I feel like, is very good. You could run it for at least 8 hours and burn about 3/4 of a tank. The tank behind me right here, it holds about 40 gallons. So you're burning about 2 to 3 gallons an hour. And right now I'm getting about 4 quart an hour out of the machine. So it's at a half a gallon a quart. Virtually nothing. You think you would put this dial over by the operating station so you could see how much fuel you burn. Does it work here? Yeah. That would be something I would improve on. CRD, if you're watching, put the fuel tank gauge over by the operating station. Right here we've added a 1/4-inch plate with I don't know what these are called, side bracing, 90-degree pieces of metal to prevent all the wood that comes off of the deck to smash the electronics below. If your electronics, your trailer wiring is broken, can't tow the machine. This is a definite add-on for the machine. Have your welder make this up. Pretty simple. Easy, simple triangle. Little D-ring in the middle so that you can lift it up. And it protects. Oh, it's pretty heavy. Protects all the electronics below. You don't want to break any of this stuff. See, the logs roll off of here. They can go down here and they could smash things. Could they smash things? Possibly. Do I want anything broken? Definitely not. Now we run, another tip is we run our 7-way plug underneath and out the other side and just throw it over. to protect it from laying in the dirt. I also bought these little socks covers to protect the 7-way plug from the dirt. I'll put the link into the Amazon. Put the Amazon link in the description below for those. And right here, you can see this piece is not as flat as the other side. I actually had 2 pieces stuck in the wedge in here. So I picked the wedge up, tried to push the piece underneath, which caused this piece of wood, just imagine, on top to come up and get smashed in here. It happened so quick that the ram was about 3/4 of the way through cycle before I caught it. Didn't really break any of the welds. Didn't really have any effect on the structural ability of the cross brace. But just be wary of that. If you get one stuck, try to get a smaller piece, push it through. Don't do what we did. Another little tip, these pins that they use in here. I've had numerous problems of these pins, of the cotta pins coming out, especially in the splitting chamber, over on the conveyor system. Look at this one, it's even missing. What I would do is I'd rip these out and I'd get 1-inch bolts and put them in here. Never have that problem again. Definitely something to look out for. Now my overall thoughts of this machine behind us. Puts out a lot of wood very quickly. About 4 cords an hour is what I'm getting. Probably could get 5 if you had the right wood. Efficient. Doesn't burn a lot of fuel. Like we said earlier, about 4 gallons per hour. 2 gallons, sorry. Between 2 to 3 gallons per hour. Towable. The conveyor folds over the top and sits somewhere over here, so that it's one machine that you have to use when you're going to mobile work or setting it up at the yard. It's towable. It's pretty operator friendly. Didn't take me too long to get the hang of this machine. Probably around $100 to really know how to work with the machine instead of against the machine. We will show you in another video how to operate this and the tricks and tips that I've learned. The motor you see right here, this 2018 was the last year that they made the Tier 3 final. Now they're Tier 4 final cats. This is one reason why I bought the machine, because it's very easy to maintain. Most of the parts you can buy at your regular hardware store, Napa, True Value, what have you. Very easy to work on. Would I buy another one? Yeah, definitely, probably, if I had enough work for it. Are there a couple little things that could be improved, worked on? Sure, like any machine. Overall, is it a good buy? I would definitely agree. I know a lot of competitor machines, they're 2 separate units. The conveyor over here and the unit over here are separate. This one isn't. This one folds right over the top. Perfect for mobile work. And that's what we do a lot of. I would definitely recommend the company. I had a great buying experience dealing with the salesperson, the parts guys, when a couple times I needed parts. And I would recommend that you guys buy one yourself. Doing firewood's very back-breaking work. Believe me, we started with axes and saws and worked our way up to commercial splitters and conveyors. This machine, Takes all the work out of it. There's no more bending over. You sit in a little operator station over here, cut and split and play with the levers, and you produce wood. Safe, efficient. Overall, very good buy, very good investment. I've owned this machine probably for 6 months. I've done multiple processing jobs with it. As you can see behind me at our yard, there's about 300 or 400 cords here. To make one pile, what we call a pile is when you stack out the conveyor, put the conveyor on stilts so it's up a little higher, and make a cone so it can't go anymore. It takes about 8 hours. It'll take you a month to do that by hand with a conventional splitter and chainsaw. Good buy, very economical, very portable machine. There's not much else I would say about them except go buy one, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.